Hey, y'all. My name is Aisha, and welcome to my channel where we talk about everything healthy living from the top of the head to the sole of the feet. And a big reason why I do that because y'all, the hair matters and the feet matters, right? My mama always told me, her and girl, make sure that you're looking good from the top of your head to the sole of your feet because the head is the first thing they see and the feet is the last thing they see. And that's my healthy living quote from the day from my awesome mother. Now, today we are going to talk about Microlocs versus Sisterlocks and why I chose Microlocs. All right, let me go into, so if you are new to this whole lock game, let me tell you a little something. Microlocs are, let's just say, so we have Coke, right? And then we have like, I don't know, whatever the knockoff of Coke is, right? And we have Coke of the game, and then we have the knockoff. The knockoff is going to taste very much like Coke. It's going to taste really, really, really good, right? And Coke is going to be that creme de la creme of everything that we have. And it's still good, but Coke is like 3 times the price of this cola drink that we think is amazing, right? And so for me, am I going to go with the 3 times or am I going to go with the equally amazingness of this cola drink? And for me, this is what happened, okay? Because Sisterlocks is a trademark hairstyle or hair or lock technique. It is much more expensive. All right. When I first got a quote, I actually reached out to a person in training, which significantly cut the price down, but it was still super high. So my hair was like, it may have been like 3 or 4 inches. It's right after I cut my hair for the second time. I had a taper cut and I was like, I want locks. So I reached out to this woman and she said, yeah, it would be $400 for a base and $100 every inch over that base. And I think the base was 4 inches. And by the time I would have gotten my hair done, it would have been $200 more. So it was like 6 inches at that time. And so it was about $600 to get them installed. Long story short, I ended up not getting them installed. This was like back in 2007. No, it was earlier than that, like 2015. Yeah, because it was right after my kiddo. And so I ended up waiting even longer. And by the time I went to go get them done, my hair was it was around 10 inches long. And one thing I didn't want to do is have to cut off my hair to get these locks installed because then it was going to be like a little bit over $1,000. And y'all, I love my hair. I think hairstyles are awesome, but never have I ever paid over like $100 for my hair. So $1,000 seemed a bit steep. So I did my homework, y'all, and I would encourage you to do this unless you absolutely want the Sisterlocks, which I am not knocking Sisterlocks. I think they are gorgeous. They are very, 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 very precise, and they are beautifully maintained. So if that is your jam, if you're like, I want this, then y'all go for the Coke. Go for the Coca-Cola, all right? I'm just gonna go for the cola, but you go for that Coca-Cola if that is what you want, because ultimately this is something, it's not just a hairstyle, it's a lifestyle. So if you choose that route, then you go for it and go head on. But for me, it was more important for me to have the lock style and not necessarily have to have the Sisterlocks grid, the Sisterlock name, the Sisterlock size. That was less important for me. Okay. And so that kind of leads me into that size thing because y'all, Sisterlocks are tiny. And I have a giant scalp circumference, right? I have a lot of hair. So my thing was, okay, so I'm going to pay more. I'm going to sit longer, and then I'm going to have to deal with these itty bitty things in my hair. Now, you may not know what my hair looked like before. It was very curly, and it was more fine. And so with those smaller locks, it had a higher percentage of them just slipping out. There's a whole thing with locks slipping out, y'all. And I can't tell you how discouraging it would be to sit for 24 hours to get my locks installed just for them to fall out. I would die. And when I mean fall out, I don't mean like they come off your scalp. I mean like literally they unravel. So it's as if you never got them done. It's as if No, I wasn't doing that. So that's another reason why I chose to have Microlocs instead of Sisterlocks, because I wanted something that wasn't as tiny. One, because of slippage. Two, because they are so small. And three, because I want to have something that if, like a global pandemic started, broke out, COVID hit, then I could do it myself. And I know myself, I am not maintaining 500 to 600 locks. That's y'all, that is traumatizing just to say out loud. So Microlocs were a big deal for me. I was like, okay, this is more my style, because Microlocs are small, but they're not as small, or they don't have to be as small. And you can start them different ways. They can be different sizes, and grid pattern wasn't something that I had to have. And I mean, Sisterlocks, they actually use a tool, so it is extremely precise. For me, it wasn't that big of a deal, right? I want to have something. I don't want you just doing stuff all over my head. And as you can see kind of the parting lines in my hair right now. You can see them more over here. So they're there. They're just not as precise, not as whatever as Sisterlocks can be. But this was my choice, right? I've seen Microlocs that look identical to Sisterlocks, and they look amazing. But my choice was to go to Microlocs and go a little bit bigger. And you can kind of tell, like, my hair does funny stuff. I have some that are a little bit thicker. I have some that are a little bit thinner. And this is just how my hair reacted over time. And that's one big thing that my loctician told me. She said, you're showing me all these pictures, but your hair will not look like theirs because it's going to be different. And I was like, okay, fine. Whatever it is, what it is. But I fell in love and I loved it. So when I chose to get my Microlocs, I actually ended up finding someone who was already someone that I knew, but I didn't realize she did hair. And she had locks, and she started off with Sisterlocks and then transitioned to Microlocs. And she just ended up combining some of them, so they were bigger than traditional Sisterlocks. She ended up doing my hair. All in all, it took about 16 hours for me to get mine done. And I have a little over 300 locks in my head. So this is 300. Now imagine what like 500 or 600 look like. I can't even go there. But this is how much I have, and I have loved it ever since. Now this is one fun thing that, they tell you, but you don't really realize about the locks, that they will thicken up. She said that they're going to double in size, and they absolutely have doubled in size. But the size had made my hair so full, because if I show you pictures of when I first got them, I love them. But they look like, I don't know if y'all used to do this as kids, but I would have like braids in my hair. So it was kind of scalpy, right? Which I knew that was what it's going to look like in front, or at first, because that's kind of how it goes. And then they just thicken up because you're not shedding hair. It's just staying in that lock. But it looked really scalpy. But I was so excited just to have them. And now 3 years later, I'm like, y'all, these ponytail, that bun action, you know what I'm saying? Like if I just do a side ponytail, look at this. Look at this. Look at my side ponytail. Look. It kind of looks ridiculous, right? But it's thick and it's nice. And that's one thing I love, is that you get to mature with your locks. Your locks will grow. They will puff up. They will look gorgeous. And one thing my loctician, and this is why I love for people to get the right person that fits with them. She said, with your hair type, your hair will almost not ever not be fuzzy. And y'all can see my little happy fuzz up here. She said your hair, because of your hair type, it's going to fight to come out of the lock versus go into the lock. So every time she tries to smooth it down, and there are little things that you can do to help with the frizz or whatever it is. But for me, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, I love it. I'm just like, okay. And y'all, I'll have like little curls in the back of my head. Like, they're just fighting out. I have a little afro. And I'm like, ooh, that's what my hair does. And that's how it wants to be. Just let it be free and be great. All right. And so I have these Microlocs. I've had them for 3 years. They have grown on me. I have never lost a lock. So I'm proud to say that, right? There has been one lock that I've actually had to combine because my hair started thinning. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I have had various things going on with my head. And so if I can find it, I don't know if I can find it. One lock had to be combined because it started thinning out. But my loctician saw that and she said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is why I'm doing it. And I'm like, yes, because I would rather it combine than it fall out. So this is the lock. So you can see right here, it's not even a thick lock, right? But this is where it was combined. See? Isn't that cool? There you go. And this is the thin one. You can see that this is much thinner. There you go. So she combined this about a year ago. So it's about a year of growth right there. So if you are considering Microlocs or Sisterlocks, this is my plea for Microlocs. It was literally almost a tenth cheaper than getting Sisterlocks for me. And like I said, for me, it was important just to have healthy hair versus the perfect grid versus the perfect size versus the teeny tiny ones. I just needed something that was versatile, that was going to help me mentally up here, that was going to help me just with, even with working out, with worrying about hair, different things like that. This is what Microlocs has done for me. So if you're considering something, if you're considering Microlocs or Sisterlocks, tell me why, or tell me like, oh, this was helpful because I didn't know which one to consider, or I just have to have Sisterlocks, which, girl, if you must have that Sisterlocks, go for that Coca-Cola, all right? Y'all go for it. And I will see you guys next time. If you like this video, make sure you click that like button, y'all. Just getting started here on YouTube, all right? And if you want to hear more, let me know and subscribe. All right, y'all. I'll see you later. Bye.